Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023. I am Jarrell Bryan. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. AMIR of Qatar's historic visit to Guyana sees signing of important agreements. Ton of evidence in electoral fraud cases to be presented next month, prosecutor. IMF recommends Guyana review its exchange rate framework. Education Ministry formulating new policy to tackle violence in schools. And more than just anime, second annual FUMACON event slated for October the 14th. Now for the news in detail. In a historic visit to Guyana's shores, the Emir of Qatar touched down in Guyana today for a one-day visit in which he interacted with President Dr. Irfaan Ali and members of the cabinet on a number of bilateral areas of interest between the two countries. In our lead story tonight, we report that the two leaders have overseen the inking of several relations between the two countries, especially in areas of economic agreement aimed at enhancing commercial and technical cooperation.
Amir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Ahmad Al Thani, arrived on Tuesday at the Chedi Jagan International Airport, where a large ministerial delegation welcomed him to his first visit to Guyana. The Emir later traveled to State House, where he met with President Dr. Irfaan Ali and members of his cabinet. The Evening News understands that the two leaders witnessed the signing of two agreements and a memorandum of understanding between the governments of the two countries. Reports coming out of the Qatari media indicate that they witnessed the signing of an agreement on economic, commercial, and technical cooperation and an agreement on the encouragement of protection of mutual investments. They also witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding for cooperation in the legal fields. The two leaders also held bilateral discussions on mutual areas of interest, after which their delegations joined the plenary discussions. This visit is a follow-up to President Ali's previous visit in May, which saw the two leaders having bilateral discussions. A significant milestone was also achieved during President Ali's previous visit to Qatar, as Guyana's embassy was also opened there. During a press conference on Saturday, President Ali had divulged that Qatar is also exploring the options of opening an embassy here.
We have been expanding our relationship with different countries. We have a very active bilateral engagement with the state of Qatar. The Emir is coming to Guyana to pursue and follow up on a number of initiatives that we have on the discussion, including investment, including support in oil and gas. They have already offered technical support. There are companies there that I think are participating in the ongoing auction. They have expressed a direct government-to-government interest in exploration. That is a government-to-government collaboration on exploration. They're working with us on some loans, and I know they are in the process of finalizing arrangement to establish a formal footprint here with an embassy in Guyana.
Guyana and Qatar established bilateral relations in 1996. Qatar is among several nations in the Arab that have expressed interest in investing in Guyana. President Ali has on multiple occasions spoken about the tremendous growth in the relationship between Guyana and Qatar, especially in the promotion of peace, stability, and sustainability. During the ceremony for the inauguration of the Guyanese embassy in Doha, Qatar in May, the head of state said that there is much to learn from Qatar within a number of areas, including energy, climate change, and food security. Bisham Mohammed, Evening News.
With several cases of electoral fraud engaging the attention of the local courts, the special prosecutor handling these matters has revealed that there is a ton of evidence which will be presented at various hearings next month. Details in this report. Recently, Queen's Counsel Darshan Ramdani was interviewed by state media and asked for an update on the electoral fraud cases related to the 2020 general and regional elections. Ramdani is a special prosecutor in these cases, and according to him, when they return to court in October, it will be with the assurance that they are ready.
When we go in October to the court, we are also going to say that we're at the state of readiness, and we're hoping that the court will deal with any other preliminary issues that can arise very quickly, and so we can then set dates when we'll take the first witness. Yes?
So that's where we stand.
That's where we stand.
According to Ramdani, the prosecution has a ton of evidence and witnesses to present before the court.
The prosecution has a ton of evidence to lead. We have the statement of polls, the certified copies. We have the videotapes. We have the witnesses on ready. And we know the courts have been trying their best to deal with these matters as judicially as possible. The matters are now currently before Magistrate Daly, and we're hoping to get on with it. Yes, and hopefully bring this saga to an end, one way or the other.
In the meanwhile, Ramdani is more than cognizant of the time it has taken these cases to conclude since the first charge was laid in August 2020. His recommendations include assigning a particular magistrate to exclusively handle the electoral fraud cases.
We had made these submissions to the Chief Magistrate that a magistrate should be assigned to deal with these matters.
Yeah.
If it is Magistrate Daly, so be it. I'm not asking for a particular magistrate here. I'm saying that clearly. But it must be a court, we suggest, that is dedicated to this matter. In other words, it mustn't be adjourned at 11 o'clock because you have to deal with other matters. When we start, this is one suggestion. We don't have to do it every day of the week, but we could do 3 days,
Right.
full days, lead the evidence, present the evidence.
Some of the highest profile persons charged with electoral fraud include the former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, his former deputy Roxanne Myers, and Walter Lawrence. A commission of inquiry into the events surrounding the controversial 2020 elections has already concluded its work. Among other things, the inquiry implicated a number of individuals in acts of wrongdoing during the 5-month-long period. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News. With the 38% economic growth Guyana is projected to achieve this year, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has also recommended that Guyana review its exchange rate framework and continue monitoring the financial sector to mitigate monetary risks. Here are the details. The IMF recently completed its 2023 Article 4 consultations, noting that Guyana's gross domestic product, GDP, will grow by 38% in 2023. Last year, Guyana recorded real GDP growth of 62.3%, the highest in the world. And according to the fund, public investment had a major role to play in non-oil economic growth. According to the IMF, there are medium-term risks of inflation and real exchange rate appreciation. As such, the team recommended continued focus on maintaining macroeconomic stability and close monitoring of economic indicators. In the medium term, the IMF also recommended a review of the exchange rate framework. The government has been playing an integral role in maintaining financial stability, especially as concerns have been raised by some about foreign currency shortages. However, it has been explained by the government that there is, in fact, no foreign currency shortage. In fact, the government met with stakeholders on Monday to discuss the availability of foreign currency on the market and other related concerns. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News. CARICOM's program manager, Sean Baugh, believes that more has to be done to see the regional body reducing its food import bill by 25% by the year 2025. However, there is no information available on the current progress being made. Find out more in this Andrew Carmichael report.
In August 2022, heads of government of CARICOM committed to reducing the region's large food import bill by 25% by 2025, which was set at $6 billion. In 2012, CARICOM's food import bill was recorded at $3 billion, while in 2016 it was $2.9 billion. Between the period 2018 and 2020, the food import bill was $13.76 billion. In 2018, food imports were valued at $5.3 billion, and in 2019, food imports were valued at $4.776 billion. According to CARICOM's program manager Sean Baugh, quicker action is needed to achieve 25 by 2025, which is cutting CARICOM's food import bill by 25% by 2025.
Most of our young people, I know from my son, what was the thing that he identified with? He identified with Burger King, McDonald's, every kind of damn foolishness you can imagine. That's what he identified with.
The CARICOM's program manager also stressed the importance for partnership in this regard.
How can we expand our markets? How can we embrace the new technology as well as make sure that we reintroduce ourselves and our products to our markets to cut the import bill? Talking about 25 by 25, that is our final one because along that road you have all sorts of hiccups that will come. Most of us experiencing of the hottest summer that we have ever seen. Right? That will have its own adverse impact, but that does not change the momentum.
Meanwhile, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, weighing in on the same topic, pointed out that CARICOM leaders are committed to 25 by 2025. He said Guyana is doing its part as the government has been making huge investments in the agricultural sector.
We are seeing a renewed interest in agriculture. We are seeing now a true commitment from CARICOM heads of government that we have the capacity to reduce the food import bill of CARICOM. If CARICOM has to be successful in reducing the food import bill by 25%, then Guyana has to be successful. What we have in Guyana, I don't think our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean have in abundance than what we have. Two main ingredients. We have fresh water in abundance, and we have flat and arable land.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Coming up, CAL joins forces with Guyana's Tourism Ministry for Cricket Carnival 2023, and more than just anime, second annual Fumacon event slated for October the 14th.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Superbet, your best bet. With many agents countrywide, our products are easily accessible. Visit an agent nearest to you to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Poultry farmers, save money and increase your production rate by cutting the time it takes to pluck your chickens with a plucking machine from Sylvies. We have them available in small, medium and large sizes. Replacement motors and plucking fingers are also readily available. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our locations at 31 High and Hatfield Street, Georgetown, or Lot 90 East Henrietta, Essequibo Coast.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Caribbean Airlines has announced its partnership as a sponsor for the much-anticipated Cricket Carnival set to dazzle Guyana from September the 8th to 25th, 2023. Cricket Carnival is a vibrant two-week extravaganza that celebrates the cultural richness of Guyana and showcases the best the South American nation has to offer. Hosted by the Guyana Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce in collaboration with stakeholders including Caribbean Airlines, this event promises a fusion of cricket and carnival like never before. What makes this collaboration even more exciting is that Cricket Carnival aligns perfectly with Guyana's hosting of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League CPL T20 cricket tournament. Caribbean Airlines is both a main sponsor and the designated carrier for the CPL Games 2023. Garvin Madeira, CEO of Caribbean Airlines, has expressed his enthusiasm for this partnership by stating that Guyana holds a special place in Caribbean Airlines' destination portfolio. Guyana's Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onij Walrun, has applauded Caribbean Airlines for its support of Cricket Carnival. She noted that the partnership is strategic and critical to the successful hosting of the much-anticipated event. The action-packed Cricket Carnival, which kicked off at the Lenora Stadium on September the 8th, features an array of exciting events, including the Regional Food Festival, Welcome Home to Pan on the Avenue, and the Super Concert at the National Stadium. Responding to critics, the Cheddi Jagan International Airport, CJIA, has issued a statement on its decision to erect a colorful wall to enhance the aesthetics of the shops on the airport's lands. The CJIA said it is aware of the importance of providing a pleasant environment for users of the airport. As such, has implemented several initiatives to transform the previously derelict and unsightly area into attractive retail spaces. The CJIA explained that this area forms part of the security zone of the airport, and steps have been taken to provide a safe and secure environment for users of the airport. It was explained that one of the major steps taken by CJIA was the construction of a new facade to enhance the overall appearance of the shops and their immediate environs. In addition to the physical transformation, CJIA has also extended support to the shop owners by providing paint and other supplies. Moreover, it was explained that the airport's management has engaged the shop owners and will continue to work with them to improve their environment. Previously, some persons used the area where the squatters are located to engage in illicit activities which were deemed a security risk to the airport. Squatting on the airport's lands has been a long-standing issue that the previous and current administrations have been attempting to resolve in an amicable manner for numerous years. Camisa Slow joins us now to report that in an effort to effectively manage trauma victims and prevent fatalities, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, has resuscitated its trauma team training after it was halted due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Here are the details.
The Trauma Care Training Program was officially relaunched on Monday at Project Dawn, Liliandale, East Coast, Demerara, and will see 25 care providers undergoing a 2-day training session. The training session is being sponsored by the Canadian government. Speaking at the launch, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony expressed gratitude to the Canadian government for continuously supporting Guyana in the area of health care. Minister Anthony explained that participants in this program will get the necessary skills to work more effectively with patients.
You will get the necessary skills to work more effectively with our patients. Very often, a couple minutes can make a big difference. And if we have teams that understand what to do, those critical minutes, we can change the dynamics for a patient. And so it is very, very important training, and I do hope that you pay close attention and you leave here learning how to work as a team.
Also addressing the launch was Director of Curriculum Development, Canadian Network for International Surgery, Dr. Ronald Lett, who explained that the program was digitalized to ensure more productivity.
Also, we need to have more productivity. Why do we need productivity? 8% of deaths annually are due to injury on this planet. 10% of DALYs, disability adjusted life years, are due to injury. But 90% of this death and disability occurs in low and middle income countries. So we need to do something about it.
Meanwhile, Doctor of Medical and Professional Services at the GPHC, Dr. Navendranath Rambaran, also spoke to the importance of this training program.
It is training like these, the TTT specifically, that's enabled us to have that experience in trauma care. Has a lot to do with the volume of trauma we see also. Practice makes perfect, right? But pay heed to the fact that after this training, you will feel a lot more comfortable in managing your trauma patients.
Trauma coordinator Dr. Tracy Bovell noted that the training will be rolled out over the next 3 years, targeting 100 providers and at least 20 instructors. The training will be delivered digitally by the Canadian Network for International Surgery. I am Kamisi Slow, reporting for the Evening News.
A new policy is being created by the Education Ministry to address violence in schools amid an increase in such incidents, which have involved not only students, but teachers and parents. Rupert Sinarine reports.
Education Minister Priya Manikchand told media operatives on Monday that before his passing in August, advisor to the ministry and former Chief Education Officer Olato Sam was working on the policy framework. It seeks to not only cover violence in schools, but identify vulnerable students on both sides of the spectrum, those who are likely to commit a violent act, and those who might be harmed by such. Amid the sudden passing of the ministerial advisor, Minister Manikchand said they are piecing together the different components of the new policy.
We had begun and we're looking at the completion of a draft policy that Olato Sam was working on, that I'd asked him specifically to do, where he was coming up with a holistic plan about not only the immediate issue of violence, but how do we prevent, how do we make sure we identify children who might be a little bit more vulnerable to both performing acts of violence and being on the receiving ends of violence. So a very holistic plan. We're sort of trying to put together what we have from his, he died unexpectedly. It's not like he was old and someone was keeping his understudying him. We didn't have anyone understudying him. He was working alone on it. So we're trying to put together what we can of what he has presented so far and try to work from there.
In recent times, there were several notable instances of school violence. In one instance in March, relatives of a student were charged for assaulting a teacher of the Fort Wellington Secondary School, West Coast, Berbice. The Ministry of Education had positioned that it will take all appropriate actions to ensure that all teachers continue to work in a safe and secured environment. Such actions include prohibiting violent parents or guardians from having access to the school premises, transferring any learner out of a school whose parents commit acts of violence against teachers, or any sanction deemed necessary, while encouraging the police and other institution or authority to take whatever action the law prescribes. Rupa Sinarine, The Evening News.
Recognizing that there are a number of limitations pertaining to the number of subjects a student can sit at the Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate, CSEC, the Education Ministry will be enabling cross-streaming for all national and A-list schools. Here is Rupert Sinarine again with the details.
Making this announcement on Monday was Education Minister Priya Manikchand during an event at the Bishop's High School. She zeroed in specifically on the Bishop's High School, which had placed limitations on the number of subjects a child could write at the CSEC examination for many years, causing a migration of students to Queen's College.
Every year, at the placement exam, we would get a remarkable number of students from the Bishop's High School trying to get into Queen's College. And I didn't understand it until I said, well, what's going on here? What is it that you're trying to get there that you can't get here? And I was very perturbed to learn that there were limitations here placed on students with, I believe, the best intention, but which limitations had passed their usefulness and had passed their time. So the Bishop's High was allowing up to last year, only a certain number of subjects. That memo is coming out shortly, where all the national schools and listed schools will allow cross-streaming.
Across the country, less than 250 students every year write 12 subjects or more at CSEC. In every country, Manichand said there are students who are academically gifted, and therefore there should be no confinement should they be desirous of pursuing a larger number of subjects.
We do not, in the Ministry of Education, and I personally do not encourage students to engage in only academia, only writing large numbers of subjects. I don't. I believe it can take away from a student. But I believe that some students can. And where students can, they should be accommodated and allowed to.
Students in grade 10 will also be allowed to sit mathematics, English language, English literature, a foreign language, and potentially EDPM should they pass the criteria. They will not have to repeat these in grade 11 so as to reduce the workload in their final year. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
The second annual Fumacon event is back this year and is promising to be more than just an anime convention, but an all-encompassing activity aimed at youth development on all fronts. Kamisa Slow has this story.
Fumicon is back, and this time there will be even more fun activities for all, as the entire second floor of the Guyana Marriott Hotel will be transformed into an entertaining and commercial hub. Session in Guyana, established in 2022, will be hosting their second annual Fumicon event, Fumicon 2023. During an interview with the Evening News, Juliana Lopez, marketing personnel of Session Guyana, explains what inspired the event.
This event was actually inspired by our CEO, Rafaela Oviedo. She has a manga store. It's actually the first and only manga store here in Guyana. And manga is basically like a Japanese comic book. And it's something that a lot of anime is based off of. So from her experience with her customers, a lot of people remarked that they want to see an anime comic convention. So she decided to reach out to a set of us, and we decided to form this business called Session in Guyana to organize the event now known as Fumacon.
She added that the overall goals for this kind of event is generally to encourage other young people to start and maintain their own businesses.
A lot of the businesses that we have at Fumicon, and Daryl could talk a little bit more about that since he's the business coordinator, but a lot of the businesses are youth-led, and many of the entrepreneurs are actually women-based businesses. So for example, many of them retail products from like art and merchandise, jewelry, novelty items, and with Fumicon we are providing them with that platform.
Fumicon 2023 will feature a variety of activities for the entire family, such as Spicy Ramen Challenge, a treasure map hunt, photo scavenger hunt, special effects workshop, and cosplay competitions. The winner of this competition will have the opportunity to represent Guyana in Trinidad next year for a regional cosplay event. Darrell King, Business and Sponsorship Coordinator, urged all persons to participate in this event, noting that there is an activity for everyone.
Our Pokemon scavenger hunt, last year we would have done this, but this year, since we have the whole floor, it will be much more this year. And we also have what we call, since it's a Pokemon scavenger hunt, Team Rocket. So Team Rocket would have placed false Pokeballs around, so you have to be very careful of what you're doing, of the Pokeballs you pick up. Another very enjoyable activity would be our photo scavenger hunt. This is where we would share out our Polaroid cameras, and you will be given a list, and during this list it's have different pictures you could take out. Some may include taking a picture with one of the team members, with one of the vendors holding a specific pose, etc. Then also we have a new element, well, a new activity, which would be our Hulk Challenge.
The event begins at 1 p.m. and will last until 10 p.m. Children under 12 years old get free admission. Kamisi Slow reporting for the Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, September 13th at 3 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, September 13th at 16 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
Guyana Amazon Warriors, Tala was ready to ignite Providence Stadium tomorrow, and Guyana Amazon Warriors ExxonMobil partnership hits 7-year mark. Details of these stories in the Sportscast sponsored by McCorp coming up on the other side of the break.
The biggest party in sport is back. CPL returns with more action than ever before.
Are you kidding me?
Watch the biggest names in cricket battle it out in the race for glory.
Celebrate some more.
Get your tickets now at cplt20.com or at the box office. Join the party. Experience cricket played loud.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street, John Lewis style.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.